Hello friends, welcome to today's devotion. My name is Priscilla. Today let us talk about self-deception. Self-deception is what you tell yourself that you know is not true. It is not true, but you continue to tell yourself that it is the truth. That is self-deception. If you read Psalm 139 at the beginning, maybe from verse 1 to verse 5 there, the psalmist is talking about how God knows everything. God is all-knowing, that you cannot deceive God. So you can continue to deceive yourself, but there is one person you cannot deceive, and that is God. And truth be told, even you yourself, you're not deceiving yourself because you know it's not true. But sometimes we tell ourselves a lie until we believe in it. We tell ourselves this is how things are, this is who we are, even though it's not true, until we believe it. Now that is self-deception at a very high scale. It doesn't matter the things we do in secret. It doesn't matter whether nobody has seen it, nobody knows it. It doesn't even matter our thoughts. Nobody knows what I'm thinking right now. Nobody knows, but God knows. And that is what Psalm 139 is saying, that God knows my thoughts before I think them, before I speak them out. God knows them. God knows my motives, like, why am I doing this video? God knows my motive. He knows whether I just want to edify people, whatever the motives, God knows them. I may not say it here, but God knows. So that means I can lie to myself all I want, but God knows why I do what I do. That is good. And it is also scary. It is scary to anybody who is deceiving themselves. But it is also good for those who want to keep on checking themselves so that they don't fall into the temptation of deceiving themselves. Now, this is what self-deception does. It makes you think that you are who you are not. It makes you see yourself as somebody else other than who you are. And so what that means is that instead of working on yourself to be where you want to be, you may deceive yourself that you are already there. Whereas everybody else is looking at you and they're like, we know you are not what you project to be. We know you are not who you think you are. We know who you are. Why are you acting like that? Because you have deceived yourselves. Self-deception tells us we can do things even though we know very well we don't have the capacity to do. Now, there's a difference between aspiring and even having faith that and we can quote the Bible, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But self-deception actually tells you you already have the capacity and you can do this, and you may end up even harming yourself or getting into self-destructions because you are doing things without the capacity. God has not given you that capacity to do, but you're doing it already. The worst deception is when people think of you, deceive you that this is who you are. And most of the times in a very derogatory way, that they look down on you. And that deception, you take it and you believe what they say about you. They say you can't make it. They say you cannot amount to anything. And you look at yourself and you hate yourself and you believe their deception to the point where you actually think that is who you are. So now you transfer others' deception and customize it and make it your own self-deception. Again, you're going to destroy yourself. Whether it is because other people said it, whether it is because you're so into yourself, you're deceiving yourself, who you are not. Either way, you're going to destroy yourself. Now, self-deception means you're not also believing in the truth of who you are. It means you're not also speaking the truth of who you are. And sometimes the self-deception is also projecting on other people. That Priscilla is this and that, and you believe it. And you actually believe that the other person is who you think they are, even though if you look closely, deep inside you, you know you are not telling the truth. So you deceive yourself and you act. Self-deception is bad because you act on it. This is what I believe, and so I act on it. So you're going to, one, destroy other people as you destroy yourself. But here is the one thing that for me gives me hope, is that God is truth. And truth has a way of coming out eventually. Truth has a persistence that even though it may tarry, even though it may take a little bit longer, it still comes out. It still insists for it to be known that it is the truth and the other one was a deception. What is a deception? It is a counterfeit. It is a lie. It is something that looks as if it is the thing, but it is not. So this is my encouragement today. Don't deceive yourself. Because even if you deceive yourself, you know that God knows it is a lie. Even though nobody else may know your deception, God knows it's a lie. And He cannot help you unless you agree and unless you confess that you have been deceiving yourself. This is not who you are. Who you are is who God says you are. And who you are is not what people say you are. It's who God says you are. Don't deceive yourself, because God is not deceived by your self-deception. You're going to destroy yourself, whereas God could have saved you. Don't deceive yourself, because you cannot run away from God. Like the psalmist said, where can I go away from God? Self-deception is self-destructive. This is the word for today with Reverend Priscilla.